Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us. This time we're going to be looking at some really cool techniques for thinking in English.
Yeah.
It's that secret sauce that kind of separates those casual learners from the truly fluent ones.
Yeah.
And today we're going to unlock those secrets with the help of two language enthusiasts, Daniel and Jennifer.
Right.
They've discovered some pretty clever ways to make thinking in English a natural habit,
Uh-huh.
and we're here to break it all down for you guys.
Yeah, get ready for some serious aha moments
No.
because this is going to change the way you approach language learning.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
many people get stuck in that translation trap.
But yeah, it's like trying to run a race but with ankle weights on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, Daniel and Jennifer, they found ways to just ditch those weights and sprint ahead by thinking directly in English.
Okay, so tell me, what's the first trick they've got?
Well, they're really big on what they call labeling. So basically, you cover your whole apartment with sticky notes, writing the English word for like every single object, door, table, lamp, like everything gets a sticky note.
So I'm walking into my kitchen and it's just a word explosion.
Right.
I mean, isn't that kind of overwhelming?
It might seem that way at first, but think about it. That's exactly how we learn as kids.
Right?
You point at things, hear the word, and boom, the connection's made.
Yeah.
So you're basically creating like a living, breathing English dictionary all around you.
Okay, I'm starting to see the method to this madness.
Yeah.
So what's the science behind this sticky note takeover? What's happening in our brains?
So it's all about rewiring your brain, taking advantage of its natural plasticity.
Okay.
So every time you see that sticky note, let's say on the coffee pot,
Uh-huh.
your brain is forging a direct link between that object and the English word, bypassing the translation step completely.
Wow.
You're building new neural pathways.
You're hacking your brain to learn without even realizing it.
Exactly.
That's so cool. I actually tried something similar with words I always mixed up, like drawer and cabinet, and it worked surprisingly well.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
And the beauty of this technique is that it turns your everyday environment into a passive learning zone.
Right.
You're not actively studying, but your brain is constantly absorbing the language.
Okay, so sticky notes, check. What's the next secret weapon in their arsenal?
Well, Daniel and Jennifer, they really emphasize that you don't have to start with like Shakespearean sonnets.
Right.
They found a lot of success with thinking in simple sentences.
Okay, so instead of stressing over complex grammar,
Mhm.
I could just start with something like, the cat is sloopy,
Exactly.
or I need more coffee.
Exactly. It's like training wheels for your brain, you know?
Yeah.
Small steps that build confidence.
Okay.
Plus, these simple sentences are the backbone of everyday conversation.
Right.
You know, the bus is late. Where is the bathroom?
Yeah.
These are the phrases you'll actually use.
Yeah, for sure. And by thinking in these simple phrases, I'm forcing my brain to operate directly in English. Right. No more mental gymnastics translating back and forth.
Exactly. It's all about breaking free from that translation crutch and letting your thoughts just flow naturally in English.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. So we've covered sticky notes and simple sentences. What other unconventional wisdom did they share?
All right, so this one might seem a little quirky at first, but they're both big advocates for self-talk.
Wait, are we talking full-on conversations with myself in the mirror?
Ha!
Because that might be a little too out there, even for me.
Not necessarily in the mirror, but it's more about thinking out loud in English while you're going about your day.
Okay.
Like, for example, narrate your actions as you cook dinner.
Uh-huh.
I'm chopping the vegetables now. I wonder if I have enough salt.
So you're saying I should be like a sports commentator for my own life?
Yeah.
Making the coffee now, folks. High stakes this morning.
You got it. It might feel strange at first, but think about it.
Right.
You're creating a safe space to practice without the fear of judgment.
That's true.
You can experiment with new phrases, make mistakes, and refine your pronunciation.
That's a really good point. It's like a dress rehearsal for real-life conversation.
Exactly.
And if I can talk to myself in English, a chat with someone else will feel much less intimidating.
For sure. It's a fantastic way to just boost your confidence and fluency without any pressure.
Right.
You're essentially becoming your own English tutor.
So we've got sticky notes, simple sentences, and self-talk. 3 techniques that are completely changing my perspective on how to think in English.
What's remarkable is how accessible all these techniques are. You
Yeah.
don't need any fancy software or expensive textbooks. It's all about making a conscious effort to shift your thinking patterns.
It's like taking control of your own language learning journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you'll see, Daniel and Jennifer have even more strategies up their sleeve to make thinking in English an effortless habit. But before we jump into those, let's pause here for a moment.
Okay.
Think about these techniques.
Yeah.
What resonates most with you?
Yeah, take a moment to imagine yourself trying out one of these techniques. Maybe you're covering your house in sticky notes, whispering to yourself in the supermarket, or just thinking about your day in simple English sentences.
We'll be right back to explore even more insightful strategies from Daniel and Jennifer's language learning adventure. Stay tuned.
All right.
Welcome back. I hope you had a chance to think about how you might incorporate some of those techniques, the sticky notes or the simple sentences, or even maybe, a little self-talk into your routine.
Yeah, those techniques are definitely game changers. I'm ready for more, though. What other insights did Daniel and Jennifer uncover in their quest for fluency?
Well, they found that one of the biggest hurdles to thinking in English is the fear of actually speaking it.
Oh, for
You
sure.
can know all the vocabulary, all the grammar rules in the world, but if you're too nervous to open your mouth, it won't get you very far.
Yeah, that's so true. I've definitely been there, tongue-tied, fumbling for words. So how do they overcome that fear?
So one of their favorite techniques is what they call rehearsing conversations.
Rehearsing conversations like I'm prepping for a play.
Exactly. It's about mentally preparing for real-life interactions.
Okay.
So let's say you need to order food at a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
Before you even step foot in the place, you can rehearse the conversation in your head.
Okay.
Hello, I'd like to order the chicken stir fry, please. Can I also get a glass of water?
So I'm basically running lines in my head,
Yeah.
like an actor before a big scene.
Exactly. It might seem a little silly at first.
Yeah,
But the more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
right.
And you'll be amazed at how much smoother the actual conversation goes when you've already mentally rehearsed it.
That's a really smart strategy. It takes the pressure off because I've already, said the words in my mind. But what if I encounter a situation I haven't rehearsed for?
Well, that's where the real magic happens.
Okay.
The more you practice rehearsing conversations, the better you'll become at thinking on your feet. You'll start to anticipate different scenarios and instinctively know how to respond in English.
So it's like training my brain to become like a quick-thinking English speaker, ready for anything.
Precisely. It's about developing that fluency muscle so you can navigate any conversation with confidence.
Okay, rehearsing conversations is definitely going on my list of must-try techniques. What else can I do to make this whole thinking in English thing a reality?
Well, Daniel and Jennifer also found that immersing themselves in English as much as possible made a huge difference.
What do they mean by immersing themselves? Like, do I need to book a flight to London?
Not necessarily, although traveling is always a great way to learn.
Yeah.
It's more about surrounding yourself with English in your daily life, even if you're not in an English-speaking country.
So like listening to English music or watching movies in English.
Exactly. Those are great starting points.
Okay.
But it goes beyond that.
Uh-huh.
Try reading English books, listening to English podcasts, even switching your phone settings to English.
I've heard that watching cartoons can be really helpful too because the language is usually simpler and more engaging.
Absolutely. Don't underestimate the power of cartoons.
Right.
The more you expose yourself to English in different forms, the faster your brain will adapt and start thinking in that language.
So it's like creating an English-speaking bubble around myself.
Exactly. And the more time you spend in that bubble, the more natural it will feel to think and speak in English.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. It's not just about memorizing vocabulary or studying grammar rules. It's about rewiring my brain to think in English as effortlessly as I think in my native language.
You got it. And Daniel and Jennifer have one more powerful technique to share that can accelerate this whole rewiring process.
Ooh, okay.
But before we dive into that, I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
What's clicking for you? Of all the techniques we've discussed so far, the labeling, the simple sentences, the self-talk, rehearsing conversations, and immersion, which one stands out the most?
Yeah, what feels like the biggest aha moment for you?
Yeah.
And even more importantly, how can you take action and start incorporating these techniques into your own life?
We'll be back in a flash to explore Daniel and Jennifer's final and perhaps most surprising technique for thinking in English.
All right. Welcome back to your deep dive. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling inspired to step up my English game.
Me too.
Those techniques from Daniel and Jennifer are pure gold.
Yeah, what I find so fascinating is how they've taken this, seemingly complex challenge of thinking in English and broken it down into these manageable,
Yeah.
even fun steps.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about some magical language gene or spending hours cramming vocabulary. It's about shifting your mindset and developing new habits.
Exactly. And speaking of habits, Daniel and Jennifer have one more technique up their sleeve.
Okay.
It might be the most surprising one yet. Are you ready for this?
Hit me with it.
They're big proponents of embracing your dreams.
Wait, dreams? Like when I'm sleeping?
Yeah.
What do my dreams have to do with thinking in English?
It's about tapping into the power of your subconscious mind. Okay, think about it. Your dreams are a world where anything is possible.
Right.
You know, you can fly, talk to animals, even speak fluent English.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but how do I actually use my dreams to improve my English? Like, do I need to keep a dream journal by my bed?
That's not a bad idea, but it goes beyond just remembering your dreams.
Okay.
Daniel and Jennifer suggest actively setting an intention before you go to sleep to dream in English.
So I'm literally telling myself, tonight, I'm going to dream in English.
Yeah.
Does that really work?
You'd be surprised. The mind is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And when you set a clear intention, you're essentially planting the seed in your subconscious.
Okay.
And while you might not wake up reciting Shakespeare, you might find yourself having snippets of conversations in English or even thinking in English within your dreams.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. It's like giving your brain a secret mission while you sleep.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the more likely you are to start incorporating English into your dream world. It's like creating an immersive language learning experience even while you're unconscious.
I'm definitely going to try this tonight. Imagine waking up feeling like I just had an English conversation in my sleep. That's next level language learning.
It is, and it reinforces the idea that learning a language isn't just about conscious effort. It's
Right.
about creating an environment where your brain is constantly absorbing and processing the language, even when you're not actively studying.
This whole deep dive has been such an eye-opener. We've gone from sticky notes to simple sentences to self-talk to rehearsing conversations to immersing ourselves in English to dreaming in English. It's like a complete toolkit for rewiring my brain to think in a whole new language.
It is, and it all comes back to one key takeaway. Thinking in English is a skill that can be developed with consistent effort and a bit of creativity.
Yeah,
It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
so true. It's about embracing the journey, experimenting with different techniques, and finding what works best for you.
Exactly. And as you continue on your language learning adventure, remember this. The most important step you can take is the next one.
So what will your next step be? What small action can you take today to move closer to your goal of thinking in English? Maybe it's putting up a few sticky notes, trying a bit of self-talk, or setting an intention to dream in English tonight. Whatever it is, take that step and see where it leads you.
And remember, we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep exploring, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep having fun with it. The world of English awaits.
This has been an incredible deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of thinking in English. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of a topic that's sure to spark your curiosity.